Are you sure? Okay, good afternoon everyone, and hopefully you are all able to see and hear this presentation, which we'll run through and talk to you about what I'm sure many of you have seen or heard bits of, which is about the staggered start arrangements for January when we return in the new year. So I'm just going to go through these slides. And I would like to start with a big, massive, actually, thank you to all of you for what has been a very, very challenging term coming to terms with COVID-19 and the new protocols. And for all of our wonderful students, the huge majority of you have respected all of those changes, have gone along, have worn masks and done everything that we've asked. And I really would like to take this opportunity to thank all of you for that work. And for everything you've done, because you have been absolutely fantastic. So well done to all of you. It's been tough for all of us, and that includes you, and we recognise that, and we would like to say thank you. And also a really big thank you to our amazing staff at school. Again, it's been really tough for them to get used to it in all of our roles in schools, whether that be teaching or non-teaching. We've all had to make such changes to how we do. But our key focus to make it the very best school we can and to give you, the students, the very best experience has driven us to do that completely in the very best way we can. We know it's not the same and you understand that, but you've been amazing and our staff have been absolutely fantastic. So I hope you're going to say thank you to them, as I'm saying now at the end of today. So looking after yourself during the holidays, a very, very brief update on that. I will at the end of the presentation come back and flag up some places where you might pick up resources and have information that will help you to look after yourself and others should you need during the holidays. And one thing there about testing positive, let's hope not, of course none of us want that, but information has been sent home about what parents and carers should do if you test positive before the 24th of December. So in essence, it's very simple. You go to our school website and there is a big link on there that says about reporting a positive test. It then goes through to an online form, secure online form, which your parents will help you to complete, and that information will come to us and we would then be able to act to inform other students who may be close contacts and likewise staff. So that's just to flag up, it's gone home. Please do follow that protocol and let's hope that none of us need to. That would be wonderful, wouldn't it, if we didn't? So next from me. So yesterday there was an announcement from the government, and the announcement was that there will be a staggered start to term. Now what that means is that not all students will return to school at the start of term. And so what we're going to in this presentation talk to you about is what will that look like during that first week of term. It will use online learning, so it's not that an extra week of the Christmas holidays or anything like that. It is just a different way of working, similar to how we worked under lockdown. We will pick up on the children of key workers and other identified students who will be in school, so there will still be a small number in school, and as I said earlier, I will signpost places of support. So this presentation is coming to you in year 7, 8, 9 and 10, because you will be the students who for the majority will not be in school during that first week as we return in the new year. So Monday the 4th of January is now a training day, so actually there will be no students in school, that includes year 11s, on that day. But from Tuesday the 5th of January, we will start online learning. So what will that look like? Well, for you, and again, all this information will follow, so we're not wanting you to have to remember or write any of this down. But what will happen is you will go onto the school website. That will be the key area to pick up all of this information. And as hopefully you can see on my screen, I will follow then the quick links, and on the quick links, if I open that up, I will see Office 365. So some of you have done that, many of you, even our year 7s unfortunately have had some self-isolation, so you're quite familiar with going into Office 365. So we need to make sure we've got those passwords sorted and we know what we're doing there. We then are into the Office 365 area, and what I've done here is I've gone to those dots in the top left hand corner and opened up the menu, and what we'd be looking for is Microsoft Teams. Now, if you are on a computer, a laptop or anything of that nature, then Teams will open the online version. I don't need any software. I'm straight in, I've logged in with my account, and that will work perfectly fine. If I'm on a tablet, maybe Father Christmas has brought me an iPad or something of that nature, and I go in, it might tell me to download Microsoft Teams. Now, what we would say to you and your parents and carers is that's absolutely fine. There's no cost to that. Do download that, and then it will work on any device like that, like any tablet and so on. So one thing we might say to you is on the Monday, before we start the learning, it might be useful to just trial that, go into Office 365, have a look at Teams, see if we need to download anything on your device, and do that then, and then you're ready for the day after. So what will then be is our general lessons. So at this point, what I will do is hand over to Mrs. Banks, who's just going to talk you through what those lessons will look like for the remainder of that week.
Right, hi everybody, and thank you for continuing to pay attention, because what your lessons will look like is probably the most important thing, because you've got to remember that school is still happening during that week. It's happening from home. So it's really important that you are getting yourself organised so that for that Tuesday the 5th of January start, you are back at school. It's just you're back at virtual school. So we need to be the night before getting ourselves used to going to bed at the time that you go to bed when it's a school starts, because the school day is going to run as normal, and I'll talk to you about the school day in a moment. The lessons themselves, we are going to move ourselves on now as a school, so that some of your lessons will be live lessons. You'll be online with your teacher who will be talking to you, and you will be able to either talk to them or use the chat function to be able to talk to them that way. So some of the live lessons will be delivered through Microsoft Teams. Some of the lessons might have alternative resources like PowerPoints or videos that you can run through yourself, and that will feel like, for those of you that have already done lessons at home with self-isolation, exactly the same using SharePoint. The key thing for you to remember is that you are going to follow your actual normal timetable, more or less. So tutor time will start at 8:30, and that's when your day is going to start. Now, there are some subjects that, with the absolute best will in the world, we can't deliver to you at home. So there might be some gaps in your lessons, such as core PE, which won't be delivered at home. And what that will mean is, if you run out of time in a lesson, say, to be able to complete a task, you'll still have some time during your working day to be able to catch up. So this is what your day is going to look like. Your day will start, as I've already said, at 8:30, and that will be some communication from your form tutor, so that you are logging on at 8:30. Your form tutors, as I know some of you where it's been a whole tutor group have been self-isolating earlier in the term, your form tutor will be there to make sure that between 8:30 and 8:50 you're all up, you're all ready to learn, you've all got everything that you need, and you're all set up for the day and know where all of the information is. It will also allow us as a school to see who isn't up and who isn't ready and who hasn't logged on, so that we can be contacting home to make sure that you are not missing out on those vital lessons that everybody else will be participating in. Your day then will run as the times you can see on the screen. Period 1 will start at 10 to 9, just as it does now, and it will carry on until 10 to 10, just as it does now. Period 2 will then go from 10 to 10 until 10 to 11. So that will be an hour's lesson. And then you will have a break of 10 minutes. Again, just like is happening now in your lessons, but whereas that break would be at a time of the teacher's choosing during that longer period 2 lesson, we will have break at 10 to 11. So from 10 to 11 until 11 o'clock, you won't need to be online. You can go, you can have those comfort breaks, you can stretch your legs, you can maybe get a little bit of fresh air if we've got back or front gardens, and you'll have that 10-minute break. Period 3 will start at 11 o'clock, and that's for all of you in 7, 8, 9 and 10. There's no need for us to have that staggered lunch approach when we are all working virtually. So everybody in year 7, 8, 9 and 10, your period 3 will start at 11 o'clock and it will end at 12 o'clock. And then again, all of us will have our lunch hour at the same time. So between 12 o'clock and 1 o'clock, you are free then to go away and relax, and we would definitely be advising to not necessarily remain on a screen of any kind, because you will have been online all morning, to go and have a bit of a break, stretch your legs, make sure we are behaving in COVID safe ways, but that you've got your downtime and to have your lunch. And then you can see in the afternoon, we will have period 4, and period 4 will go on from 1 o'clock until 2 o'clock, just as it does now. And then the day will end. So your period 5 lessons that you have timetabled during this first week, from Tuesday the 5th of January until the Friday of that week, you won't have period 5 lessons. Now you might wonder why that is, and there are 2 very simple reasons for that. The first reason is it's not necessarily the healthiest thing in the world to be on your screens, which you have to be if you're doing online learning all of the time. Some of your lessons you're going to see the teacher's going to want you online, and then you're going to be directed, right, go away from half an hour now, and in your exercise book, this is the task that I want you to complete before you come back on, and we go through the answers, or I give you a bit of feedback, and so on. So we're going to state that the lessons stop at 2 o'clock so that you are working for 4 hours online, and we feel that that is sufficient for you to be online. It's going to be really tiring, it's different, it's more intensive than being in the classroom. It also means that if we've got homework, or if there was a task earlier in the day that you didn't quite have time to finish, you've still got between 2 o'clock and 3 o'clock. So we're still expecting you to work during that time. It's just that you won't be online. So you've got that time to do homework and to catch up with anything that maybe you ran out of time for earlier in the day. The most important thing for you to understand is that from the Tuesday to the Friday, those are the hours that you're working, and you follow your normal timetable. So if, say, on Wednesday period 4, you normally have French, then that's exactly what you would be doing. Okay, as Mr. May said, we don't expect you to remember all of this. After we've done this presentation, we'll be sending this information out to all of you, as all of your parents and carers, but we'll also send a version to all of you on your school emails so that you've got access to that too. And I'm going to hand you back to Mr. May, who's going to explain the last little bit to you.
Thank you, Mrs. Banks. So we're nearly finished now. So children of key workers and others who are identified as being in school. So a form has already been sent home, and parents and carers will complete that. Those of you who are in school during that week will do the same work as those students at home. So you'll come in, you'll go into a room where there'll be a computer for you, and you'll work through that, supported by us in school, so you're not falling behind. You will be coming in at normal time, the buses will be available, and you will be coming in full school uniform. So it will look different, but in terms of coming in and those other things, there'll be a similarity there. You'll still get lunch in school if you like, and so on. And there will be a small number of you and year 11s in school during that first week. So looking after yourself and others, it's really important that before and after, the holiday, we are looking after ourselves. We've flagged this place and page up a number of times, but on the school website, again, that's that central place where all the resources are. If you go to joining our school, there is a section there called mental health and wellbeing, and there is a link. And there are lots of places there, lots of support for you and for others. So if anyone yourself or someone else you feel is struggling and you need a bit of help or some support, there are lots of advice, resources, but also people that you can contact for support on there. So please do look at that area should you need. And lastly, from me, it really is a case of have a very, very good holiday. Do get ready. As Mrs. Banks said, do everything you can, but as securely and as COVID secure as you can. So during that week when you're not in school, during any of this time, please do follow those rules. Yes, of course, meet families whilst we can, but do everything we can to keep ourselves safe so that when we do return in the new year, we're all as safe as we can be and keeping other people as safe as we possibly can be. It's been a very, very challenging term, but it's also been an incredible term. What we've managed to do, us being able to be live to you now is, you know, just shows us how far we've moved on. So one last thank you. Thank you to Mr. Hunter for providing me with my Santa's Little Helper hat, which I can wear now on bus duty and might keep some of the rain off. But other than that, you've been absolutely amazing. Do not worry, as Mrs. Banks says, all of this will communicated and will support you in whatever way we need. Have a great holiday, everyone. Thank you. Bye-bye. End.